The spotlight effect. Your brain is wired to believe you're being watched far more than you really are, as if a spotlight is constantly aimed at you. A stumble, a stain on your shirt, a wrong word during a conversation. Your mind magnifies these moments until they feel enormous, unforgettable, and painfully noticeable. But in reality, almost no one remembers them. People are too busy focusing on their own worries, their own appearance, their own insecurities. The brain creates this illusion because it evolved to monitor social judgment, a survival instinct from a time when belonging to a group meant staying alive. Modern life doesn't match that wiring, but the instinct remains. Your brain overestimates attention, exaggerates embarrassment, and convinces you that everyone is analyzing you when no one truly is. You aren't the center of the world, but your brain keeps lying, insisting you are. And just as it distorts attention, it also warps how you interpret information, pulling you into the next and most pervasive mental trap. The confirmation bias. Your brain doesn't search for truth, it searches for comfort. Instead of examining information objectively, it filters the world to protect your existing beliefs. When something supports what you already think, the brain highlights it, amplifies it, and stores it as proof you were right all along. But when something challenges your beliefs, the brain quietly pushes it aside. It downplays the evidence, questions the source, or simply ignores it altogether. This isn't laziness. It's an ancient survival mechanism. Believing your instincts kept you alive. Doubting yourself could get you killed. Today, that same instinct traps you inside mental echo chambers. You notice only what aligns with your worldview and overlook anything that doesn't fit. Over time, this distortion doesn't just shape your opinions. It reshapes your reality. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as your brain prefers it to be. And just as your brain bends information, it can bend your memories too, rewriting your past with startling confidence. The false memory illusion. Your memories feel solid, vivid, detailed, and trustworthy. But the truth is unsettling. The brain doesn't store your past like a video. It rebuilds it from fragments every time you remember. And in the reconstruction, details shift, fade, or get replaced altogether. A suggestion from someone else, a story you heard, or even a feeling you had can slip into the memory and become part of it. The brain fills gaps with guesswork so seamless that you never notice the edits. Over time, those guesses harden into certainty. People confidently recall events that never happened, conversations that were never spoken, and moments that only existed through repetition. It isn't lying. It's the brain trying to create a coherent narrative, even if that narrative bends the truth. Your memory isn't a recorder. It's a storyteller. And just as it distorts your past, the brain also distorts your sense of danger, magnifying threats far beyond reality. The fear amplification bias. Your brain is programmed to overreact to danger even when there isn't any. A sudden noise, a shadow in the corner, an unfamiliar face. The mind exaggerates threats, triggering fear long before logic has a chance to intervene. It's a survival algorithm built to keep you alive in a world filled with predators that no longer exist. This instinct makes you jump at harmless surprises, assume the worst during uncertainty, and anticipate negative outcomes even when reality doesn't support them. The brain would rather create 1,000 false alarms than miss one real danger. An evolutionary trade-off that protected your ancestors but now fuels anxiety. Fear becomes amplified, stretched, and distorted. Small risks feel catastrophic. Minor problems seem overwhelming. Your heart reacts to imagined danger with the same intensity it would to real threats. Your brain lies to protect you, but in doing so, it often holds you hostage. And the same machinery that exaggerates danger can also warp something far more fundamental: your perception of time itself. The time compression and expansion distortion. Your brain doesn't measure time, it feels it, and those feelings are wildly unreliable. During moments of fear, excitement, or stress, seconds can stretch into minutes. But during routine or repetitive days, hours can vanish without leaving a trace. When your brain encounters something new, it records more detail, making those moments feel longer in memory. That's why childhood summers felt endless, and adult years seem to disappear. Novelty stretches time, familiarity compresses it. Fear can slow everything down, giving the illusion of slow motion. Meanwhile, comfort and routine speed everything up. You're not actually experiencing time differently. Your brain is manipulating how much of it you notice. Time isn't just a clock on the wall. It's a sensation your brain continuously rewrites. And the same system that distorts time also reshapes the emotional weight of your experiences, giving negativity far more influence than the truth deserves. The negativity bias. Your brain is built to remember the bad far more than the good. A single criticism can erase a dozen compliments. One mistake can overshadow years of progress. This isn't weakness. It's an evolutionary reflex. Negative events once signaled danger: a poisonous plant, a hostile animal, an untrustworthy person. Remembering them meant survival. So the brain developed a system that treats negative information as heavier, louder, and more urgent than anything positive. Even today, your mind scans for threats automatically. It highlights problems, magnifies flaws, and replays embarrassing moments long after everyone else has forgotten them. Good experiences fade quickly. Bad ones stick because the brain stamps them as important. You're not overly sensitive. You're biologically programmed to overvalue the negative. And that same instinct leads to another mental distortion: the illusion that you control far more or far less of your life than you actually do. The control illusion. Your brain constantly misjudges how much control you have. Sometimes it convinces you that you're steering every outcome, that your choices alone shape events, even when luck or randomness played the biggest role. Other times, it does the opposite, making you feel powerless in situations where your actions truly matter. This illusion appears everywhere. You blame yourself for things that were never within your reach, or you take credit for successes that were part chance, part timing, part circumstance. The brain craves patterns and predictability, so it invents a sense of control to make the world feel safer and less chaotic. When things go wrong, the illusion turns inward, making you believe you could have prevented the inevitable. When things go right, it expands outward, giving you the comforting idea that you were the sole architect of success. Both are distortions, both are lies. Control feels real because the brain hates randomness, and that same craving leads it into one more powerful illusion: seeing patterns that don't exist at all. The pattern detection fallacy. Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine, so aggressive in its search for meaning that it often invents connections out of nothing. A coincidence, a strange repetition, a lucky moment. The mind stitches them together into a narrative, convinced it has uncovered a hidden signal. This instinct once helped humans survive by detecting threats: footprints in the dirt, sounds in the bushes, changes in the environment. But today, that same mechanism misfires constantly, making you see faces in clouds, signs in random numbers, or meaning in events that were completely unrelated. The brain would rather find a false pattern than miss a real one. So it fills gaps with stories, assumptions, and symbols until randomness feels ordered. Superstitions, lucky charms, and messages from the universe all grow from this same cognitive glitch. Your mind isn't lying out of malice, it's trying to make chaos feel understandable. But in doing so, it creates a world full of patterns, signals, and connections that exist only in your imagination. See in the next video. Exploding head syndrome sounds dramatic, but the explosion isn't real. It's created entirely inside your brain. Just as you're falling asleep, a sudden burst of neural activity misfires in the auditory regions,